Hello and welcome to Navigating, a podcast where we talk about big media, AI, technology, how it shapes us, how it affects our conversations, our opinions, and our world. And today we are going to talk about Instagram's new feature called Instants, what it is, why it exists, and is it going to affect us? Is it going to affect how we speak? Then we move on to the whole Instagram DM situation where we talk about the encryption, end-to-end encryption thing. It's okay if you don't understand that, but just to discuss how it affects and what changes, and are your DMs safe from Meta's reading team, who is just sitting there and reading your messages? So that's coming up later. Welcome, Vedant, again. And to returning viewers, Vedant may not be recognizable, but it is
Yeah,
Vedant. He has decided to clean shave for the first time
in a year,
in 24 years.
in
So,
1 year.
in 24 years, because I don't think you have ever done that. But, anyways, welcome, Vedant, and I hope you're ready with the answer to the question, what are instants and how do they work?
So yeah, yesterday I was, looking through my Instagram DMs and I suddenly saw these random images at the bottom and I was wondering what it was. I clicked on it and some photos popped up and then you texted that Instagram has come out with a new feature. So I started to look it up what it is. So basically, instances they have launched a separate app for it as well. I think in a few countries, it's there in India as well. And it is basically a feature where, you can share pictures instantly and your followers and users can just view it once. So basically how it works is that you open your camera, you click a picture through that feature and then you click to send and it instantly goes to the people you choose to share it with. So you can choose to share it with your close friends or all of your followers, but people can only view it once. And it disappears after I think you view it once. So it is, sort of like how you can also send it in your DMs. You can send a view once photo and then it disappears, but the only thing is that there is no time limit to how much, for how long you can view that. So it is view once, but if you open it, you can probably view it for hours.
Yeah.
So that is how
Like,
it works. And
yeah.
you can't edit the photos apparently. You can only add captions to it before you click the photo or something, and people can react or reply to it like they do with your stories. And obviously, you can undo that. If you don't like the photo, there is a button to undo the instant photo that you have chosen to share with your followers, and it gets shared in your archives where you can also later post it to your story if you want to or something like that. So basically, Instagram has probably rolled this feature out to just allow you to share your casual everyday photos. Like imagine you've gone out for a walk, you see a cute cat or you see something unusual, you click it and then share it instantly with your
Mm,
followers. Sort of like a story, but you probably can't edit it, so it's like raw, unfiltered kind of
mm.
an image.
So I think there's a lot to learn from the language that they have used for their announcement. So the first sentence was that Instagram is launching Instants, a new way to share in the moment with spontaneous, unfiltered photos with friends. So that means, like, what I take from it is that they are trying to get and trying to reach the audience or the people who have either stopped or not yet ready to post stories and publish photos. Maybe they're shy, I don't know, like maybe they don't like it, but they do want them as well on the app, and not just be on the app and be passive consumers, but also post something and publish something. Now, that why that is important, that can be discussed, like why they want enormous amount of people to not just view but also post and engage with the platform. That comes down to the business and business model. But that's one thing that I took from it, like they are trying to get those audiences. And also I think there's like a huge number of people over the world, but also in India, which was very foreign to me when I learned about this. that they are using Snapchat. Like Snapchat was something that I felt okay, we used and we tried like in school and college, and we felt that "Hey, it's a good thing," and then quickly moved past it and shifted to Instagram. But young people use it a lot. That's one thing, but there are older people as well who do use Snapchat and Instagram. Basically, instance is nothing but Snapchat, but like Snapchat is like has a way more features, obviously.
Yeah.
But instance is something like, okay, you can post something and people can view it once. And crucially, they've also given that no one can click a screenshot or screen record as well while viewing the photo that you've uploaded. So
So
that's kind of good. Yeah.
that feature was in your DMs, or
Yeah.
if you were texting someone or in a group chat, you could send a photo, view one's photo, and people couldn't take a screenshot of it. They have just introduced that feature to,
Yeah.
showcase to the rest of the followers. But I honestly think, maybe, and that's just my view, maybe a lot of people and people like me probably are not going to use it because, like, you click a photo and then you post it, and someone like me who contemplates a lot about posting, like, I don't post a lot, and when I do, it's like I click probably 100 photos in that same one post, and then I choose two out of it because I overthink a lot about it. For someone
Yeah.
like me, this instant click picture and just without thinking twice about it, send it to your followers, and then you can't even probably view it because it doesn't get saved and people view it once and forget. It's not for someone like me, and there might
Notice how they don't now use show it to your followers. They kind of say show it to your friends.
yeah,
So to just remove that bit of anxiety that you have. So my first impression was the same, like, okay, am I going to use it? I don't even use the blend feature and the notes feature as well, like they have brought in.
yeah,
But again, like because our job is not to just think from our perspective and look at how how the mass is behaving, like how more people are behaving with these features. But I would say that w- when you opened Instance, you found photos already up there, right? Because
yeah,
people are using it, like people have started to use it already. And there are people, and I have also seen them, and the data says that yeah, like when you introduce a new feature, there are a lot of people who kind of use them. So I don't
yeah,
know how much. I don't know. I don't think that it will go as viral as Reels, because now everyone publishes Reels. Everyone wants to like have that creator tag. Like even if they are not creators, they still want their Reels to go like viral, and they want views in K, and like suddenly they will kind of slip into conversations like, oh yeah, I mean, I didn't even do anything, but like I got these 15K views and 25K views, like I don't know. But I don't think this feature will be that, but it's still like people have started to use it, because I also opened it and I saw at least two or three people who have already
yeah,
posted. It's not just one photo, it's like multiple photos they've published. And so I'll get to the point as well. I'll just complete this, the language that they have used and what it tells us about what they want us to do, or what kind of people they are targeting. So the next line I want to read is no edits, no pressure, just life as it happens. So that means that, again, I think what you said, maybe targeting someone like you who is a bit anxious, who maybe won't post as much, even in stories as well. So they want to target those people. They want to let them know that, you know what, you don't need filters, you don't need anything, just post it. Because even the algorithm, even if you're just posting a photo or a reel, it's kind of, now how algorithm works is that if you don't have anything interesting in the first 3 seconds, like people just don't watch
yeah,
it. And even if people watch it and they just like it, your reel will kind of not go very far. It needs to be shared with someone, and I'll come to that as well, like why they're sort of trying to introduce new things in your DMs. So that will happen. That's why many people maybe won't post as much. And again, I'm not just talking about this. You don't automatically become a creator if your account is public. I think a lot of people will keep their account public these days because they want to post and they want to show what they're doing. And even if they have a they have a private account, I think even then, many of them will have 1,000 or 2,000 followers following, and they may not know a lot of them, but when they post, they obviously want more people to like, and it's a very natural thing now that humans have. So I think
Yeah,
that's why, and I feel that almost everyone is on that platform. So who are the new people who they want to engage with the platform are the people who may not be posting as much. So they're giving these features to them. So there's one thing. And obviously, like we said, no screenshots. That's a good thing. One more thing that I want to mention is that if you so once the photo is gone, so once one of your friends, followers view it and it's gone, but it's not gone from the servers. It will stay on the server for at least a year, and
yeah,
even after that, if it gets deleted, it will still take 90 minutes according to Meta to just completely being wiped out from the server. So it's going to stay there. It's not as if okay, it's gone now, so no one and it's off the internet. It's
yeah,
not that. It will still stay on the internet, although accessing it will be very difficult. You have to kind of get into the servers of Meta. So that's kind of just a thing that I think that should be mentioned. Now I want to come to why do you think Meta is introducing all these features? Because we saw this likes feature as well. So if your followers or following have liked a particular reel, you kind of see that okay, they have liked it. You are also seeing this blend feature where if you go in a group and then look at a reel sent on the group and then swipe down, you automatically enter into blend, and blend is nothing but what the members of the group see, and then you kind of see similar videos what they are saying. That's one thing. Then the notes feature, and I haven't fully understood what is the note feature because I don't use it as much. But why do you think they're introducing so many features, and now this the instance feature and also the app?
yeah. I think obviously, the new features are just to keep the users engaged in many different ways, ensuring that they stay active on their platform, and that is how they get the money from advertisers and the users per revenue, because they need to show that people are active on this platform. And by introducing all of these features, people keep trying them, as you said. Maybe they won't use it in the long term, but whenever they introduce something new, like if you remember, they had introduced this feature in the chat where you could draw something, and probably people used it for a day or two, a
Yeah.
week at most, and then they just stopped using it. So obviously, these features are just to keep the users engaged, because, as you know, now the attention span is also not that great. You cannot keep someone entertained with some one feature unless it is like something really big, like Reels, as you said. So I think they're just trying out these new formats, and if they work, they're somehow going to try to monetize from it. And obviously, if they don't, they just scrap it, like they have done with a lot of other features.
Yeah. So another feature that I have a lot of fun with is the voice note, where you can change your voice into a chipmunk or a robot or something like that. So that's one thing. But again, as you said, I think these are the features that they're adding because they want people to stay on the platform as much as possible. And I think one shift that we can also recognize is that Instagram has now shifted from just a video or a like image video consuming platform to a full grown messaging app where you are talking with a lot of people on Instagram. And I think a lot of people have also uh, uh, transferred from WhatsApp because on WhatsApp you do need number, right? And number is an external thing that is not just an app feature. A number is a phone number, and you kind of you don't want to give phone numbers to a lot of people. So that's why it's much better if you are talking on Instagram or if you are in a group with strangers on Instagram, because it's just your ID and it's not something
Yeah.
that is maybe a privacy concern for you. But
Yeah,
anyways,
you
we'll
can
get to
just
that. Yeah.
search someone's name that you know,
Yeah.
and follow them or text them, but it's not the same on WhatsApp. You cannot just guess someone's
Yeah,
number.
and that's why it is a messaging app because more than WhatsApp, it's much better to talk on Instagram as well. And I think when we're talking about these features earlier on, and I don't know if you have recognized this because I don't, because maybe you don't work in this industry, you work in PR, you don't work in social media. But I have realized this that earlier, maybe 5 years ago, or maybe 4.5, 5 years ago, whenever there was a feature introduced on any of the apps, people used to use it first, and then companies used to recognize, okay, people are using this a lot, so maybe I should also do something about it and maybe start advertising in on this feature, or maybe I should start publishing on this feature, right? But I think in the last couple of years, it's completely, not completely, but there's a major shift where if there is a new feature, companies adapt first because they have to kind of be everywhere, and then some people adapt to it where if they want to use it, and mostly young generation is going to adapt to it because once
Yeah.
you are accustomed with certain features in an app, it's very difficult for you to go and use some other feature if it is not a necessity for you. So for example, I don't think that it's a necessity for me, the instance feature and the notes feature, so I won't use it. But when they introduce the what do you say, the message, the send message feature, like earlier, very early on, when now you can just share reels to your friends and to your groups, and you can also, like, while sending, you can write something
Yeah.
in there instantly instead of sending the reel and then messaging below. So that's a feature that is very easy for me to bring into my habit, because that's something that is like a very useful thing for me. So other things, I don't feel that kind of usefulness for them. So that's one thing also. That's why I feel that companies are maybe adopting
Yeah.
these features more than normal public.
And maybe, one thing, one thing that you said about Instagram becoming a messaging app more than WhatsApp, that is interesting. I'll come to that later when we
Mm.
discuss the end-to-end encryption part,
Yeah,
because according to Instagram, it's very different. But one thing, what you're talking about, I want to point out, or, it's what I think that I've observed this, all of Instagram's core, what do you say, the main features of Instagram, if you see, all of them, I don't know if copied is the right word, but they've all
inspired,
come
as they say in business
inspired.
terms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
inspired because
but
the
it is
main,
copied.
yeah. So the main feature of Instagram, why it was launched as a photo posting,
Yeah,
completely. It was independent that you can only post photos on here and probably nothing else. That obviously came from Facebook because everyone started posting photos on Facebook first and then came Instagram. Second, the stories feature that they introduced, which most people use and a lot of their users use, came from Snapchat. Snapchat introduced stories feature first, right? Then Reels, the feature on which the app runs, it originally came from TikTok. Like
yes,
TikTok was the video sharing platform from which it came. Even their thing of rewarding influencers or creators, YouTube originally started that with their revenue
yeah,
something, and even their paid verification which they now give out. If you pay, you get that blue tick. That also Twitter had started first.
yeah, yeah,
So almost all of the core features of Instagram, as you say, have been inspired or copied from
yeah,
all of these other big apps. And obviously not everything is copied, but all of the other small features which I like, it's like the broadcast channel where every creator has their own channel where users can join in, they can share their own updates, but they can, it sort of feels like you're in a group chat with your
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
celebrity, or that is good. The feature of adding a song to your post or story, which probably is not on any other app. If you have to do that, you'll have to edit that video, add that song to it.
yeah,
That is good. The features that you talked about in the DMs, like can use add. tunes to your voice notes or something like so. But these are very minor features. The core features of Instagram, I have observed, have all, been sort of copied or inspired from all of the other apps. And eventually, all of the other apps sort of become the same. Like even Snapchat has now introduced the creators reels. You can become an influencer on Snapchat now, which probably they copied from Instagram. Twitter, obviously, they also introduced a lot of features similar to Instagram, where they now reward
Yeah,
people
and
for
YouTube also introduced shorts because like
yeah,
they're falling
yeah.
behind. Short videos were
Exactly. So I think in the end, all of these social media apps are just now becoming like they've forgotten what their USP was. Obviously, it's still there, but now everyone is just focused on monetizing, focused on advertising, and making the most of their users, how to monetize their users. And this is where my personal bias probably comes in. Like Facebook, as we know, is a very evil corporation. Uh, Leaving apart all of the things that Mark Zuckerberg does, it does not pay any attention to its users now. But personally, somewhere I still feel Facebook still has the edge over all of these apps because it gives you everything that all of the other apps gives it. You can post on it like you can post
Facebook
on
as
Twitter.
in you're talking about the app or the Meta company because they own
No, the
WhatsApp,
app, the
Facebook,
app, the
Instagram.
app.
The app Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the offerings that it gives, nothing
Okay.
else. So you can tweet on it way back, like when Twitter
Yeah.
started, you could post whatever, then you could post photos. You can now obviously upload reels, you can view reels, you can add stories. So all of the things that the other apps do, Facebook gives you that, but it also gives you the option to play games, which was there earlier, which none of the other apps gives. So personally, for me, I still feel bad that everyone shifted from Facebook to all of these other apps and no one uses Facebook anymore. And it
Yeah.
also, that shopping app, that shopping feature, people actually sell it has a entirely market, like different
Yeah, they
marketplace of
use
its
it. Yeah,
own.
many use it for selling stuff.
Yeah, so I personally feel that, maybe Instagram is every app is becoming this sort of way, but Facebook still has that one edge for me personally
Yeah, but
against these other apps.
unfortunately, for your opinion, people are not using Facebook anymore.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
lot of
I
them,
feel bad about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think like just before moving on, I think maybe a lot of them shifted because they had this very bad feature for a lot of young people where whatever you did was kind of broadcasted to everyone. Even
yeah,
if you liked something, it was like, okay,
yeah.
Vedant Bhaskar liked
And do
this.
you remember they had this
Everything.
in your profile, you could add what movies you like the top five,
Yes,
top three,
yes, yes, yes.
what books you have read, what
It,
series you like.
yeah,
That also, for someone like me, that is a very big
yeah.
thing. So it's a very good app
It
for me.
it started as a very good thing,
Yeah,
actually, because
exactly. Then it became evil.
yeah, for the first maybe 5 years, it was like a very good thing because people could connect with each other. So I want to move to the DMs thing. Why I want to focus on that because the recent algorithm change as well. If someone still doesn't know what change that is, and I think I mentioned at the start of the episode, is that earlier on, if you posted something, the amount of time people stayed on your content determined its push. But now it is very important for people to share it within like 3 to 4 seconds. If they view something that you've posted, within that, if they share that reel to anyone, that boosts that content because Meta or Instagram has realized that a lot of conversations are happening on DMs. There was a recent report as well published that engagement is kind of down on actual content, but engagement is way more on DMs. So people are now not commenting and maybe liking more, but rather they are opting to share that reel or share that piece of content with people so that they can have conversations on the group. Now, what that does is it makes Instagram very insecure about their product because what's going to happen is they are going to just see engagement getting low. They are just going to see, okay, people are using my app in a way I can't monetize. Because if our conversations are on our DMs, if we are sharing more content on our DMs, if we are sharing even our photos and videos on our DMs, but we're not publishing on the platform, but it's just for our group and something like that, it's going to hamper their business, because they can't really tell businesses that, okay, your reel may not get comments, but it's definitely shared. Businesses are going to ask, okay, how much shares are happening, and how do you feel, like, can I boost, or can I use any kind of feature that you are giving so that my reel is shared more? But it is not possible, because a reel cannot randomly pop up on in your DMs, or a business DM cannot directly pop up in your DM list. So I think we are moving towards that. The only reason that they haven't done it yet, because they exactly know that there's going to be backlash. No one is going to live, because Instagram DM is considered as this private space. Like I said, right, a lot of people are moved on from WhatsApp to Instagram, because they feel as though Instagram is offering more security, because they don't
Yes.
have to share your number. And that's why a lot of conversations are happening there, and that's why Instagram is also not kind of introducing ads in your DM, because that's one feature that people are valuing so much more on Instagram, more than what it gives them. I think more than what reels and what content and what entertainment we receive from Instagram, the bigger reward is sharing that with people that we know, or we just talk, or whatever.
Yes.
And that's where we come to the end-to-end encryption thing. Firstly, like, what it is, why Instagram is removing it, and how it is going to affect us, all of us, and connecting that with, are there going to be more features introduced so that somehow our DMs are going to be monetized, and what security do we have with that? So, do you want to go and talk about end-to-end encryption and what it is, or do you want me to explain and then we can
Yeah,
go
you
on?
can explain it.
So basically, end-to-end encryption means that if I message you, and WhatsApp has it, so if I message you, my message is encrypted, and it is decoded or decrypted directly on your mobile device. Even Meta cannot actually read your messages. If they
Yes.
try to read it, or if any hackers intercept between my message reaching you, they will just look at random patterns and random letters, and they won't understand what is written. So that's the thing that was on Instagram, but that was an opt-in option. And I think a lot of people obviously didn't opt in for it, because it was so difficult and people don't know how to do it. So obviously it didn't matter, and people thought that, okay, no one is reading my Instagram DMs. I'm perfectly safe here, but that's not the case. So that's end-to-end encryption. And now where we are going on Instagram for everyone, so the opt-in option has left on 8 May 2026. No one can opt in for end-to-end encryption. Now it is transit encryption. So that means that I will message the message as it goes to the server of Meta. It will go to the server of Meta. It will be decrypted there. It will be passed on to a channel that will be reaching you. It will be encrypted over there again, and then it will come to you, and then your phone will decrypt it and again read that message. So now what it does is it kind of gives the complete authority to Meta, where they have the key and they can actually read your messages and read your photos or videos, whatever you send in your DMs. Obviously, they are not sitting there and kind of decrypting. Oh, Avnish is sending this left agenda meme against Modi ji, so we must do something. Obviously, it's not that, but it's still like it's much less safer than it used to before. Than used to be before. If you had opted in for end-to-end encryption, if you hadn't, like, it didn't matter. So that's one thing. That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, so end-to-end, like when I read about it, so end-to-end encryption is mostly for, which are purely messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Apple's iMessage, Facebook Messenger, and Google Message. Telegram also has an opt-in feature, but obviously, as you said, because it was opt-in, people didn't probably even know about it that such a feature
Yeah.
existed. And those who knew about it probably did not care enough or did not know how to do it. So if you make something mandatory like they've done it with WhatsApp, that is when people actually learn about what it is and understand it. But because they made it opt-in, people obviously didn't know about it. Now, I'll just, when I was reading about it, there were like two sides to this argument. First is obviously Meta has been talking about the future is private, or how
Yeah,
they
they
want to
did that.
make
Yeah.
everything is private since
Yeah.
2019, and now they've made a complete U-turn or 180-degree turn on it because now they've removed end-to-end encryption. I'll come back to the thing that you said earlier, where they think that Instagram is more useful for messaging. So when Meta was asked about it, why are you removing it? What their spokesperson told, I think it was Instagrams or Metas, I don't exactly remember, but they told the reporters that uh, not many people had opted in for this feature. We had a lot of, like, the number of people who had end-to-end encryption on was very less. That is why we're removing it. And those who want to continue using end-to-end encryption, they do it on WhatsApp. So that probably gives out the idea that they want people to focus, or they want people to shift their core messaging feature just on WhatsApp and keep Instagram for probably other features based on just what they said.
Yeah.
Obviously, that
Yeah.
is not what what they intend to do, but based on their statement. And the thing why it is conflicted is because on one side, obviously, people are unhappy or mad that their privacy is now gone. Instagram can see everything. But on the other hand, people are happy because you Meta can now directly intercept, or it is now very easier to take action against people who are engaging in cyber crimes or against pedophiles who groom children or commit other sorts of crimes over DMs, and obviously for people who do very extreme things like spread propaganda or other things. Earlier it was because it was if it is end-to-end encrypted, no one can, as you explained it, no one can access it. But now because it is open, Meta can access it. Law enforcement agencies can request the data for it,
Yeah. And
and
yeah,
obviously, that is one side of it.
that's one side. Yeah. Like I do get it. I did that and I felt that yeah, okay. I mean, that's one benefit of it, but I still don't feel as though, everyone's right has to be taken off because there has to be this action taken, because it's like wiretapping, right? That we won't allow. Like, why don't we all allow governments, basically, like, they still do it a lot of times, but officially, we don't allow any of the governments to wiretap our phones and listen to our conversations
Yeah,
because obviously there's a big reason to actually do it by saying that, okay, if the government listens to all of our conversations, applies a code, and they can maybe tap into some keywords that are used, and they can catch traffickers and other criminals much more easier, in a much more easier way. But we don't allow that because we feel that, it's our privacy. You want to catch them, but there has to be another way, because you can't listen to
exactly.
two innocent people talking with each other. And I think, although Meta do not have any responsibility because they are a private company, and I mean, whenever we are arguing something and whenever we are saying that, okay, Meta should do this, Meta should do that, we are not actually arguing with the law. We are appealing to their moral responsibility, which they are perfectly fine if they just don't have that, or like if they say we don't actually care about this thing because we are a private company. If you don't like it, go to another app, right?
Yeah,
And so that is a bit confusing thing, that obviously there is going to be benefit to this, but because they have now, I think, removed end-to-end encryption, we have to sort of appeal to their morality by saying, if you knew that this is going to be an amazing feature and a private and safety feature, why not do it like WhatsApp, and then obviously allow people to have more privacy, but they don't want to do it. So now it comes down to like why don't they want to do it is because like you said, I think, and this is my thing, like I don't know for sure, but I feel as though because they have realized that like a lot of conversations are going to DMs,
Yeah,
they maybe want to use some kind of patterns to then introduce advertising or introduce more personalized advertising, or at least tell businesses that we have kind of enhanced our ad revenue, like ad
yeah,
algorithm, and now we are using AI to find more behavior patterns, and you can advertise it in a way that you'll kind of get more ROI, because that's their entire model. We can't really sit here and say that, oh, okay, tech companies do not have the responsibility, but I think that there's a very big distinction between how they come across to normal regular human beings as users, and how they face themselves to businesses. And regular users do not have any idea what goes on to the business side of things, because if you look at the business dashboard as well, the meta dashboard, when you are advertising something, and a lot of people will now boost their reels, like that's one kind of advertising, and you have to kind of select audience, select age, and you can do only that, right? You can't do more than that. But I think because that's a bit saturated now, from experience I can tell that earlier on what used to happen, if you advertise on Facebook, you could directly get leads for your customers, sorry, for your products and services, because like, yeah, people are scrolling, there's an ad, oh, do you need this, people got the attention, people clicked, and you got the lead. But now what's happening is people are tired of the advertisements. The dopamine level have shot up so high that a regular advertisement is just not entertaining at all for them. People skip ads more. If you look at any metric such as creator reels, so the organic reels that they create, and whatever they do, have much more likes and comments compared to a brand collaboration that they have, because
yeah,
people just instantly do not like brand collaborations unless they are like so genuine that people just love it for the creator as well, and
yeah.
it is like so pinpointed for to the needs of them that they will be like, yeah, it's good, yeah, I mean, they won't mind that.
Mm.
So that's also happening. So that's why I feel that they want DMs to be something for them, some kind of an asset. It won't happen very earlier on, or very in a near future. I think it will slowly happen, because they want to introduce these other elements and aspects into your DM screen, so that they are not directly affecting your DMs, but you will kind of see some advertisers or some posts or something in your DM screen itself, because you're spending a lot of time over there as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree with your point that why they are doing this is because they probably want to make their targeted ads very user specific by reading your messages and what you talk about. Another thing that they could also do is, they've publicly obviously denied doing this, but they could do it and you wouldn't probably even know about it. Is training their AI
yeah,
chatbot
yeah,
uh, according to how people actually talk in DMs. Now that they have access, they could actually make it more personalized for users and make it feel more interactive whenever someone is talking to Meta AI, because now, as you know, it sometimes gives out very stupid statements, and most of it is false or fake, and it does not have the idea of how to actually talk to a human. But if it actually gets access to how people talk to each other, how Gen Zs talk to each other, how millennials talk to each other, how probably older people
yeah,
talk to each other,
yeah,
it will just make it even more unstoppable. And at that, it is already very scary for me personally, because that day we saw how you can actually use it to talk to it. It has its own voice. It
yeah. I don't know. I
can
mean,
have conversations to it
I
with
was
it.
actually shocked on your shock. I felt, how do you not know that AI chatbots
Because
can do this now? They can
because
just have a conversation with
I
you.
stay away from AI as much as possible. I only use it for my
Yeah,
for professional reasons, and that is why I was shocked. Okay, what is this? And now by doing this, it is going to make it even more scary, because we have been reading cases of how people went to AI, talk about their personal issues, how they use it as a therapist. And if Meta's chat, AI model is actually trained to know how people talk to each other. It can probably,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but
Yeah.
it is probably a disadvantage, or it can take advantage of
Of
people
yeah,
venting
of course, because
something.
that's still so if we are promised a private conversation, that has to stay private. And I think the policies will still say that the DM conversations won't be used for training our AI model. But I think at some point they kind of have to, right? Because they have to give say to the businesses, and I can easily see what they can do. Like, okay, Gen Zs are talking or having these terms, or like millennials are having these terms, so they will kind of recommend businesses to use these words in their copy to get more results, like whatever they can do to promise businesses that you will
Yeah.
get more results. So I don't know how
And
much they will do it. Yeah.
another thing I feel, obviously this is very direct and probably won't happen, but even if it does, considering how shameless these companies are, I won't be surprised. Imagine you're talking to ChatGPT. You are asking it for something, for some, advice. Like you probably are planning to start going to the gym. You are asking it for a workout, and at that point, because it has advertising has gone to that level, ChatGPT could actually recommend you brand names that advertisers have paid in
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And Meta's AI model could use it, like you're venting to it that, oh, something is not right. I'm overweight. I don't feel confident about myself. And there it is recommending you to use this product for, it won't be as direct. It will be just as a recommendation or a suggestion. But that is how
Yeah.
the future of advertising could look if they are looking to exploit users to the
Yeah.
maximum,
Yeah. Absolutely. So okay. So whatever, to recap a bit, so whatever we talked about, it's still what they can do, what they
Yeah,
could do. It's not that they are doing this. I don't want to fear monger anybody, but the truth
yeah,
is that if you hadn't opted in for the end-to-end encryption, it won't obviously affect you. But now you know the difference between end-to-end encryption and what you have now on Instagram. So it's not as safe as you may feel. And so maybe for your private conversation, still use WhatsApp. And for Instagram, maybe just use to have fun conversations more than anything. I think
agree.
that's the better thing to do. And last thing, I wanted to say something, but it's gone now. I have no clue what I was going to say. Anyways,
What I would just I because I forgot mentioning this earlier. So when I talked about the official reason that Meta gave for removing end-to-end encryption, obviously it was because a lot of users are not opting in or something. But there is a sequence of events that happened, and I'm not saying this decision is because of that.
are
There is
you
a
talking about the bill the US has kind of made sure that it will?
No,
Mm.
but that could possibly be another. You could tell me
Okay.
about it after this.
Yeah.
But there is a sequence of events, there is a chain of events.
Okay.
You can probably add one and one together. I'm not saying this happened because of this. I'm just probably stating. So I was reading up on it, and a court in New Mexico ordered Meta to pay $375 million over child exploitation because they found them liable for endangering children by making them vulnerable to predators on its platform and other
Mm.
dangers. So, how I explained why people are happy that now the end-to-end encryption is removed is because Meta can directly probably intervene if uh, child predators or pedophiles are doing something on its platform. So that is probably why Meta fast tracked that so much, and because of the government pressure and because they had to pay such a hefty fine, they do not want to obviously repeat that in the future. That could be one of the reasons. And it was also ordered to pay a fine in the of some $6 or $7 million for making children addicted to its platform. There was another case going on. So probably it is just trying to stay safe
Yeah.
from all of these, but it is giving the reason. Obviously, it is a very corporate reason that people are
Yeah.
not opting in to use our
And
platform, stuff like that.
that response also is kind of like, yeah, people are not doing it anyways. So
Yeah.
what are you talking
Let's just
about?
remove it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And there, as you said, there could be other ways that they could tackle it, like
yeah,
removing it completely and, just keeping attention, like spying on people's DMs 24/7 is not the solution to even these
yeah,
problems. There could
exactly.
be other solutions to it.
And even if they want to stop the trafficking or predatory behavior, that means that they have to analyze every single conversation. And that means that our conversations are going to go there. And if we use something that is flagged, then
Yeah,
like what? So, I mean, it's crazy. But there's another thing in your flow, which I read could be a potential reason is that US is actually introducing a policy called Take It Down Act, which means that upon complaint, every social media platform has to remove the maybe like whatever image is there and
okay.
AI deepfakes within 48 hours. So that has to be done. So I read that that could also be a reason that they removed it so that they can analyze all conversations and then remove that. But it's just going to hurt a lot of, I think, people. I don't think that's the
Yeah.
way. So I just want to package this in this way, right? Uh, Okay, when we talk and say that a social media company is responsible and the government kind of sues them, like you said, um, few things are like, okay, it is a private company. It is responsible for the platform, but not what goes on to the platform because they are not doing it directly. Someone is using that platform, right? So how we are going to like, why are we challenging the platforms? So it is justified why we are challenging platforms because they use practices which is well proven that uh, that uses certain types of psychological aspects to make people addicted to its platform. So that means that they are kind of making sure that people stay on the platform. It's not just here's the technology, now use it how you want. It's not like Oppenheimer
Yeah.
he created a bomb, now it's up to the government what it does. It's not like that. So it's like the actual Oppenheimer thing where the government is giving him incentives to like make the bomb. He knows that it's going to hurt a lot of people, and when it does he realizes that, oh, it hurt a lot of people. So it's like the companies actually know what they're doing. They have been Meta has been accused and filed cases against for selling data. That we know that as well, and it
Yeah.
happened 10 years ago. That's why everyone has forgotten about it. uh, the next thing comes the algorithm that they always talk about, and the algorithm actually is used, or algorithm pushes content that is that lacks nuance, that lacks context, that also is exploitive, that is also misinformative, like whatever, it's spread of misinformation. That algorithm is specifically uh, designed in a way that even the companies know that a lot of content that is just not true, that could be very misleading, misguiding to people, that is going way more than actual good content or like source material or like a proper information. And a good example of it is that you will always see any you pick up any reel, any content, you go on and read the comments, you will always see the most rage baity comment in the first
At the top.
two three
Yeah.
comments. And that's by design, because if you scroll down, there are some nice comments on it,
Yeah.
there are like some sensible comments on it, but it's like you will see the most rage baiting comment ever because they want you to go and reply that guy and like feel like you did something today. And when people do that, they are obviously more engaged because they will receive a reply and they will like spend more time on it. So
Yeah.
that's why we need to at least like say something to the platform. And the third thing in this package is the business angle of it. Like doing all of this, what they do is take your information, take your behavior, and then sell it to businesses. And then you might say, what's wrong in it? Like, if a good business finds me and I need them, what's wrong in that? The thing is that it's not wrong if it if it is a good matchup. But a lot of times, what happens is the businesses will use it to flood your app with ads or with things that you don't want, but you might still go and purchase it, or you might
Yes.
still get to know their name, even if you don't want that. And that's the thing. Like that's you can't change it. You can't change what that algorithm is, and that's basically selling your behavior and selling what you earn. That's why governments holding them accountable should be okay with us, and maybe getting regulations that don't condemn them or don't hold them accountable for wrong things that people do on their platform, but hold them accountable for enabling some things that they have in control. And another example, I think we're going too deep into this, but another example is that Meta removed fact checking last year. So they
Yeah.
had fact checkers and they hired third party fact checkers who looked at the content and flagged it and then gave it to the Meta team so that they can either remove the content or like have strike or maybe ban the content creator if the content is completely misinformative, misleading, misguiding, whatever it is, or obviously in extreme cases sexually exploitative, nudity, sexual content, whatever it is. But they removed that by giving the reason that okay, these guys have too much control, and there was a wave of Republican right wing agenda in US at that time. So he basically said that the leftist fact checkers are having too much control and free speech is under threat, and we don't want that. Our platform should not have that, and they removed it. But the fact checkers kind of said that it wasn't upon us, we just flagged, and it was on Meta to remove the content. So if we flagged it and if they didn't remove it, it was completely their decision. So yeah, I think doing those practices means that you should be held accountable. And yeah, that was the feature. We kind of did the exact opposite of what that instance and social media is all about, spending around 50 minutes on discussing on one topic. We're done. I the last segment was actually just to ask you how has your experience differed in the last 5 years with Instagram. So just give me that. How can you remember how you used it in 2020 or 2021 and how you use it now?
Okay, last 5 years, not since I started using it.
You can do it since you started Instagram. I started using it in the last like 6 years. I think I
Okay.
didn't use it a lot before that.
Actually, it's been like 10 years now.
Yeah.
I started using it in 2016 because one of my friends, when we were in 10th standard, she told me there's this app and she used to use it and she made me install and then I installed it. And back then, obviously, it was just about posting pictures. Later on, they introduced stories. They introduced, you could share those posts and DMs and all of that. Earlier, it was very simple. I used to like it when it was very simple. But over a period of time, actually during COVID, uh, when I started using it, it was about pictures. Then after 2 or 3 years, it became about memes for me, a platform to see memes, share memes. Then I stopped using it because I found out that all of these memes actually originally come from Reddit or Twitter. So I focused
Yeah.
my attention towards Twitter more.
Yeah.
And then eventually I just stopped using Instagram that much. And then because of Reels now, I use it more, but it's only for Reels and obviously talking to people on the app. But it is not about posting photos or videos, which was earlier the main kind of USP. And there was also one feature earlier on Instagram that I don't know if you did use it back then, you wouldn't know about it. They removed it in 2019 or 18. So when you go to your notification, there was a separate notifications tab which they have now merged it on the top of your home page. But
Yeah.
earlier there was a separate tab. In that tab, if you went there and you swiped left, you could actually see the activity of all of the people that you follow. So if someone has liked a post, how long ago they have liked it. So if you have liked something, I could have seen that Avnish like has liked this post 10
Yeah.
seconds ago. If you have commented on some post. So it was very easy to track someone's activity back then and stalk people basically because at that time when I had that feature, I used to get mad because I used to see that this person is liking posts commenting on things, but they have not replied to my message which I've sent so long ago. But they eventually removed it. I don't know why. But yeah, that was one feature that I remember. But yeah, I think now I use Instagram very less compared to Twitter and probably Reddit or YouTube. That has been my journey.
Uh, yeah, so for me, I think so. We started using Facebook, and I think till the end of my school, it was still Facebook, and in 2018-19, I think the shift started to happen on Instagram, and there was no videos and reels then, I think. And I
Yeah,
can't even imagine a world without reels, man. I just can't imagine what I was doing on my phone all day if there were no reels.
with
But
one
I
GB
think
per
like
month.
yeah, but I think, like you said, the memes thing was still very addictive because the memes were really something that we still looked at. And I think we were more also interested in what our peers and friends were posting as well. So I think more than
Yeah.
the Reels tab that we go, we used to look at our friends as well, what they are posting more.
There is one more thing
Yeah.
that I distinctly remember the memes from back then because obviously it was not an overload of information and a lot of information. So there was this Bolna Auntie Aau Kya guy which got
Yeah.
famous. There was this Nagar Sevak meme. There was like two to three, like so many memes back then. So one meme used to come out, everyone used to follow that trend. But now, because there is so much, there's reels, there's posts, there's your home feed, there is an explore feed, there is your reels feed. There's so much content that now I just can't remember. But because it was so simple back then, there is one thing that I liked. So that you just scroll your home page, whatever you saw, you liked, and you remembered things from back then. But now I can't even remember what I saw yesterday on reels. But I still remember those meme trends from back then.
So I have a bit of trivia for you. And it's a fun thing, so you don't have to be very competitive. You get no points and nothing. You get nothing. You are here and you're going to answer the questions. So the first question is, who was the original face of Facebook? I mean, that's something that, and I mean, anyways, I've generated these through Gemini, and I think AI chatbots are only 70% accurate, so this could be 30% completely wrong. But still, I'll just go through it. So yeah, who do you think was the original face of Facebook?
Ooh, I have no idea. I mean, it for me, it has always been Mark Zuckerberg.
So, what it's written here is back in 2004, the top of the website featured a mysterious face
2004.
hidden behind digital code. It wasn't Mark Zuckerberg, it was a cropped photo of the famous Godfather actor Al Pacino. And like we discussed in the restaurant that day, we are just 5 handshakes away from Al Pacino. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
mine
okay.
would be more, but yeah.
Yeah, shout out to our Garware College friend Suraj Rikame for acting with Chris Hemsworth for giving us access to the entire Hollywood fraternity. Go watch his
Three
movie.
handshakes away from any actor now.
Yeah. Uh, what was the like button almost called? Any guesses?
Ooh, I have no idea about this trivia, man. Like, I don't know. Heart?
In 2007, engineers desperately wanted users to rate posts as awesome. Mark Zuckerberg vetoed it because he thought it sounded too childish, officially choosing like instead.
Yeah.
So the
There were a
like
lot of
button.
react. I think Facebook was the first one who introduced this reactions, right? You could
Yeah,
the
yeah,
emojis to post. So yeah.
yeah. So the button was called like, but if you press on it, like you could have
Yeah.
different
Other
options.
emojis, yeah.
Yeah.
This is tough
Uh,
for
I
me.
think I think this is a feature that I could use on Instagram if they introduced. Okay, if you
It is
press
there,
on
right?
the like button.
It is, sorry,
Good
it's in
for
the DM.
stories.
It's
Yeah, it
in
is
the
for
DM.
stories and other stuff. But on
Yeah,
reels and post, if you
yeah,
can tap and because that's the exact.
exactly.
If I want to, no, but I think it will significantly reduce the comment engagement because a
Oh,
lot of people would
th
just choose to do
this
that instead of comment.
this reminds me, I was
Yeah.
going to talk about it, but I completely forgot. There is one feature that I want Instagram to desperately introduce, and I'm surprised they haven't introduced yet. Is to remind you of what person's or what followers' birthday it is today. Like Facebook has it,
Okay.
Snapchat has it, but
Yeah.
now everyone is on Instagram. But Instagram
Ah,
still
okay.
somehow doesn't have that feature that you can get
Yeah.
which follower's birthday it is today. And I'm surprised it is that there.
Yeah.
And I would be, I would be glad if they introduced it because you could get to know whose birthday it is today.
Yeah.
Just
Unless
on
someone
Facebook.
Yeah, unless someone reposts someone wishing them happy
Yeah,
birthday,
you
we
don't
don't
know
really
whose
get to
birthday
know
it
if
is
there's
today.
birthday. Yeah,
And aren't you surprised that it is not on Instagram yet?
yeah, it's kind of because LinkedIn has it because in your
Exactly.
notification, LinkedIn says wish them happy birthday.
And you would
Mm.
think that an app like Instagram, which wants to keep people on the platform so much,
Yeah.
how have they not probably introduced it yet?
You
I don't.
should email them by saying, please introduce this feature, and then the next 9 points should be about criticism of their platforms.
And pay me money for
Yeah.
this. Give me a Colorado.
I'm sure that this would have been discussed in the boardroom, and they would have said, "This is the stupidest idea," and get out of here. You're fired. Um, Next question is, why is Facebook's logo and website famously blue?
I don't know. It probably has to do with some color scheme thing that blue is a color that people,
Or I
uh,
will give you a hint.
yeah.
The entire company of Meta, who who does that? What I don't know. Like the entire company of Meta revolve around which person?
It is his favorite color.
No. So it's almost right. So it's saying that because Mark Zuckerberg is red green colorblind, he chose blue because it is the richest color he can actually see clearly. As he once put it, blue is the richest color for me. I can see all of blue.
And
I mean,
no,
yeah, okay, move on. Let's move on. The silence says a lot of things. So, question four: where was the $1 billion deal to buy Instagram negotiated? So, famously, Meta or Facebook back then, the company was called, purchased Instagram app for $1 billion, and it
yeah.
was ridiculed throughout the media circle.
2012
Yeah.
or
I don't remember.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I remember the year, but I don't know. Starbucks?
Close. It was an informal location. So on Mark Zuckerberg's couch,
Oh,
where
there is still
everybody
there is still
had,
very what do you say? I mean, they could have meetings at his house, like
yeah, yeah, but
Starbucks.
it was on his couch, with everyone apparently wearing all the clothes. It was nothing bad. Instead of formal boardrooms and lawyers, Zuckerberg invited Instagram's co-founder to his house. They hung out, ate steaks, watched TV, and agreed on a massive $1 billion price tag right there. I think this was just his manipulative techniques. Let me
Exactly.
become friends with him, but also it would be like we know how he talks, so he would be like a robot, right? Do you want to play video games? And then
The-
after they do you want $1 billion?
Yeah. Let's watch this match after this. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Put on the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Sign this. And after the signature, now get out. I don't want to hear from you. So
Yeah.
moving on to the last question. Instagram was originally created for lovers of what specific drink?
Wow. This is so many new facts for me that I had
Yeah.
no idea about.
But what we
Okay.
can do is I'll ask the same questions when Zui comes, and then you can get all of them right.
Oh, but what if she watches this episode?
She
But
doesn't
is
watch our
she
episodes.
actually got to watch 55 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, she doesn't watch
And
it.
you know she hates this phase, so she
Yeah,
probably won't even get through 5 minutes.
yeah.
Oh, nice idea. I don't know, iced tea?
The answer is whiskey. The app was originally called Bourbon, Burbn. It was a confusing app where people checked into bars and rated drinks. When the creators realized users only cared about uploading photos, they deleted everything else and changed the name to Instagram. So that was a
Uh,
brilliant strategy, though.
yeah,
What
fair enough.
what an amazing strategy. So yeah, I mean businesses. Again, I mean if you remove all the bad things, All of them sound a really good idea for a modern civilization, but something's
I mean, the
happened.
core
Yeah,
idea is really great, right? Like
yeah,
to keep in touch with people from school, college, who have lost touch with. It is a great app to stay connected with people who are
yeah.
millions of kilometers, thousands of kilometers away from you. But like
It
every,
doesn't give them $1 billion, and I like as a business, I would. I mean, if you have a subscription based model, not a lot of people are going to use it if the free model is available. So it depends on us as well. I mean, obviously, the companies are at fault here majorly, but uh, like normal people as well, if they, because we sell our freedom for a lot of things. So if Meta makes their app a subscription based app where only you can consume quality
but
content, I don't think people would subscribe to it. I mean, they would say like, I don't
but
care.
then there are also people like the VLC media player founder who just
Yeah,
never cared about money. So people can be like that. It's not the norm for these
yeah, they
companies.
can be like that, but then
Yeah.
yeah, what
I mean, if
trajectory they
they
would
just
go on, I
could
don't know.
keep money and greed out of it, it could be such a great thing for an
Yeah.
invention. But because that is into it, you cannot look at it as a positive thing. You just have to consider the negative things more than these.
Yeah, yeah, because the actual real people do get affected by that.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. And
even yeah,
it is probably not the right example to compare it with, but from what I see it, gambling is probably like, if you look at it from an outsider's perspective, they will always say that it's a user's choice, right? You could just choose not to gamble. They're not forcing you in, and you are putting your own money, so you know the risks involved. But then why are you crying about it? But as you
mm,
know, they prey on people, they get people addicted, people commit suicides. It is a very massive problem. But at the core of it, you could always argue that it is not their fault because they're not forcing anyone to come in. They're just taking people's money and probably making it rewarding for people to bet
yeah.
on something,
Mm.
but as we know it is
And
obviously their fault.
yeah, because I think, and even our audience would maybe agree that it doesn't maybe affect us in a way that will completely change our opinions or make us do something that it's completely uninformed or misinformed. But there are a huge amount of people, at least in India, that we know who lack that certain media literacy
Yeah.
to understand and analyze and access content in such a way that does not affect them and their decisions. But I think overall, this is also true that social media has now become a huge tool for government organizations as well to sway elections and put out things that they feel that are going to give advantage to them. Like we see Congress and BJP, they are just meme pages now on Instagram. They don't really go and try to inform us about something. It's just about, oh, look at what Modi did, and BJP
Just
put out how.
trolling each other and
Yeah, they're just
probably
trolling each other, and that does have an effect because you look at the comments below that, and you look at the talking points people come to us and talk about, and these are very similar to what we listen on social media, and people hate to obviously admit it, and even obviously, to some extent, my certain talking points about maybe veganism or capitalism have come from YouTube or like watching some creators, and which I feel that okay, these are some good points. But a lot of people who do lack certain media literacy will kind of be convinced of it
yeah.
in such a way that these talking points will be just repeated by them. And because I have experienced that, where I have heard these talking points online, and then someone has come to me and kind of repeated it and presented it as their own, and then I kind of feel that, I mean, how do I tell them that you need to look at beyond your echo chambers that are formed on these social media platforms? So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I didn't want. Obviously, we can't talk about it in one episode in one go. We'll
Yeah.
come to a lot of things later on. But today was about the new feature Instagram launched. Why they are launching so many features? How does Instagram affect us? And maybe what they are going to do in the future that is going to shape our world as well. So yeah, if you like this episode, if you learned anything from it, or if you have any comments, do subscribe to this channel and keep on following us, keep on subscribing to Navigating Convocast. a podcast where we talk about big media, AI technology, how it comes together and affects our world and shapes us all. So, thank you, Vedant. Thank you for wearing a jersey in a very formal, non sporting conversation. And I hope you
You're
stay this
welcome.
way and grow beard before Zui comes
That is
on our
probably
next
why she's
episode.
not here today.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will meet until next time.